All right, in part two of data validation, one of the best things to look at, first of all, not just measuring the speed of transactions, but is to see if a transaction is at point A gets to point B. And it really depends on how you design. If you design your data structure right to begin with, this is pretty easy to do, especially in NoSQL. It's simple. It's a little bit more complex than SQL Server. For instance, if you use a bunch of negative IDs normally, well, now you can't really use a fake transaction as well as you think, or you're going to have to do it with a varchar or something. But in NoSQL, just to give you a kind of an example here, you can see that the normal structure would be the symbol and the price. And usually in other structure, there'd be like a date time, a high, a low, a median, etc. But you'll notice that the bottom record here does not match at all, right? So these have symbol and price. This one has symbol and fake, where it's 1, right? In fact, that wouldn't even be needed. You wouldn't even need the symbol. So because it's schemaless, you can at any point in time do this. Whereas with SQL Server, it will require some initial thought in terms of design. So one of the things that I prefer to do in SQL Server is a randomized check. So I'll use that same example where I would actually look at if I know in source A that 0386 hits at, let's say, every minute, let's say, so it's 7:04, it's Hang Seng as an open now, but let's just say at the very opening, I'm going to then check if that opening value hits the destination, right? But I'm still going to have to be familiar with the load times and the replication times or the ETL times, right? So the idea is a randomized check is like that. You're taking a specific transaction and you're looking if it flows through. The NoSQL version is you can actually fake a transaction and see if it ends up on the other side because it's schemaless, right? It's not something that's going to interrupt the normal data flow. Most of the analysis is not going to be looking at, for instance, if you were looking at price, let's go back to that really fast. There is no price, right? So it's going to be excluded in whatever analysis involves price. So consider that your data validation, whether it's a randomized check or whether you're looking at a fake transaction, you can design that with SQL Server, but you would prefer to do that up front. Whereas with MongoDB or a kind of a document-designed database, you can do that at any time. And that does allow you to not only measure the time it takes from one place to another, but to verify that your transactions are getting through.